technology has their own web application development, and in Java also, it has a predefined, it has a predefined search for a web application. It has a predefined structure for a web application in JDBC. And what is the predefined structure? Means the predefined structure is just a structure of the folder in the file system. It has to be that way. It has to be that way. Then only our web container or Tomcat in this case, or WebLogic or WebSphere, any web container understands that. Any web container understands that. And now, what is the folder structure? The folder structure is always like that. It is a app name folder. It is a application name folder. If I go to Tomcat, I already have a Tomcat. That's why I'm just going to go through the structure of the Tomcat directory. Okay. Here is the structure of the web application which I have currently. But the basic structure is, see here, the document management web app. That is what the folder name is. That is what the folder name, that means that is the web application name. That is the web application name which I am talking about. And what that web application name contains? The web application name has to contain the web INF folder. Remember this point. It has to have web INF folder, and that has to be capital letters, like exactly the same way which you guys are seeing now. Web INF. And then the another requirement of the web application is it needs to have the web.inf folder needs to have the web.xml. The web.inf folder needs to have web.xml file. That is the mandatory requirement for your web application. That is the mandatory requirement for your web application. And then we talk about all the other stuff. That is where each of the stuff goes to. Where each of the stuff goes to. Now, does everybody understand what is the mandatory for a Java web application? Do you guys understand what is the mandatory for Java web application should have? Yes, that's perfect. Now, I'm going to talk about there are different sets of files the Java web application can contain. Let me say this. We talked about servlet, right? And we talked about JSP. And the web application also can have, that means, as I said, it can have servlet and it can have JSP pages. And also, it can have static elements. It can have static elements in the web application. The static elements are the ones which we call them as a HTML pages, or the images, or the JavaScript file, or CSS file. Those are the category of static files that we are going to call them as a static file. Remember the point. Other than servlet and JSP, it can have these, can have these along with that. And here, where will be the static content will be placed, where will be the JSP can be placed, where will be the solid will be placed, and where will be the required jar file. Let me say this as, hey, if you require another jar file in your web application, where do you place it? Right. As I mentioned today in the class, we are going to use the Struct framework or the Spring framework or any of these frameworks. That means, as I said, whenever I'm saying the framework is a set of jar files. Whenever I talk about the framework is a set of jar files. Where do you place those jar files? Where do you place those jar files is another question. Where do you place the jar files is another question. Now, all the static pages can be placed on the high level. That means it is under the high level folder structure on the document management tab. What does jar files contain? The jar files contain the set of Java classes, which has consisted of a framework or it has consisted of an utility set, utility classes which are required for your web application. Jar file is nothing but set of class files. And as the static element can be placed directly under the high-level folder structure of the web application, it means you can place them under the document management web app. It means you can place all the static pages like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and images. You can put them directly under this. And also,